Hello, everybody. And I hope Congress will move on this funding quickly. I believe they will. I am not considering $50,000 debt reduction.
I go by the name of Q. If you're unfamiliar, if you are familiar, shout out to you and welcome back. Student debt cancellation, student loan repayment freezes. What is really going on? Let's talk about it. So Joe Biden is set to talk about it actually today. He spoke on some things yesterday, but as y'all heard in that opening clip, 50,000 is extreme for him. He's considering 10,000 minimum, which will be a huge relief. Now, everything that was mentioned through the Associated Press article and video, a lot of it I agree with. $10,000 per borrower. If that's forgiven or canceled per se, that would be a huge relief, a very huge relief, but there's also consequences for everything that happens. So this goes back to what I mentioned in terms of the STEMI checks. So all of the free money, where at this point, you should be aware that there's nothing free in this country. Where something is canceled out or paid for, there will be an expense attached on the back end. So yes, some student loans may be canceled potentially, but do you really think that you're gonna get out of this scot-free? It's gonna be heightened taxes, right? There's gonna be a little more inflation potentially. There's gonna be some trick or thing that they do in order to get their money back, because they're gonna get their money back. This country is a corporation. America is a business. It isn't some type of charity case, right? We would have been had free education if that was the case. We would have had free health care if that was the case. We wouldn't be taxed on any and everything if that was the case. America is about business. They're about their money. And the sooner you understand that, the better. Now, this situation actually affects me, right, emotionally, because I feel for every student loan borrower, anybody who's ever taken out a loan, right? For the most part, there's some people who've taken out loans who knew exactly what they were doing, and there was other people who took out loans where they didn't have a clue. They were just nudged, they were just told, they were just taught, they were just trained, groomed, pushed into the direction, right? They were preyed upon. Some people were just completely misled and misguided. I was one of those people, so that's why I feel for them. I had no clue of why I was going to school other than to make my father proud. I mentioned that. All he told me was go to school so you can get a degree and get a good job. Okay, why am I going to school? What skills do I need in school? Like, what trades should I take up? What's gonna pay the most money, or what do I actually love, enjoy? None of this was broken down to me. I don't fault my parents. I don't fault my dad, because he only did what he showed. Like, he only showed me what he knew, right? He only knew what he thought would be good, but every situation is subjective, as I talk about all the time, right? College isn't for everybody, but America makes it seem as if you don't go to college, you're gonna be a complete failure in life, and that's just not true. So with that sentiment being spewed all over the world, all over the news and schools and institutions, college is a business. You have to think about that. Of course they want you to go to college, right? That's how they get their workers for these businesses. College is a business, but when you go to this business, take out this student loan, you're funding the business that is college, and they're just churning out workers and employees, which makes sense because a lot of these jobs are essential. You need doctors in this world. You need nurses. You need attorneys, right? You need dentists. You need a whole bunch of these expertise that people go to college for, but a lot of this stuff is just, I don't know, I could be jaded. Again, I'm big on education, but it doesn't necessarily have to be formal education, right? Or traditional college institutions, etc. But education is important. Do not get that misconstrued. Don't confuse me on that. Education is important. Again, it just doesn't have to be formal or traditional. Most of the things I've learned throughout my life is things I've learned from the internet, things I've learned through having conversations with people who are more educated with me, right? Going to conferences, going to meetups, Google, YouTube, etc. A lot of my education I've gotten for the cost of the internet. Whatever I pay for internet and to keep my phone, that's how much education I've gotten, and it didn't cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars. It didn't cost me stress or being up late at night worrying about if you're gonna go into default, or worrying about if you're gonna be able to pay X, Y, and Z, or being relieved because the student loans are currently paused or on a freeze, right? The student loans is a big burden to so many people. And again, I see where the people are upset on both sides. So if it doesn't get canceled, like if it doesn't get canceled, people are gonna throw a fit. If it does get canceled, people are gonna throw a fit. It's pros and cons to both sides, because if we get it canceled, then it's us other taxpayers like you and I, right? I don't have student loans anymore. I paid my student loans off in 2020. They're already 2.5 years behind me. So if the student loans get canceled, of course, if the taxes go up, I'm a taxpayer. So I be paying for the consequences of those actions, even though I have nothing to do with it. But guess what? I don't care. We have to stand as one. We have to be unified because it's the people over everything. And the sooner people see that, the better too. It's like, why not look out for your neighbor or your brother or your loved one? It is what it is. There's always going to be some type of blowback, but what can you do about it? This whole back and forth, red and blue, left and right, it's so corny to me. That's why I'm not big on politics at all, because it's divisive and it's annoying. It's like, gee, figure something out. Figure something out. Y'all just arguing back and forth, bickering, chattering, postponing things, procrastinating, and then the American citizens are just sitting there looking, just waiting, literally just waiting. Like, I wonder what they're gonna do, or they're gonna have a meeting today, or it's too much. If you have student loans, let me know exactly how much. If you're anticipating that cancellation, let me know. If you're anticipating the freeze being released, because they're said to undo the freeze potentially this September. So let me know. And if you're feeling any type of way about this topic, put it in the comments for me. Let me know how you feel, what you think, and let's have a healthy conversation and dialogue in this let's just keep it very open-minded, right? And let's be constructive about this whole thing, because I want to hear everybody's point of view, everybody's insight, because we all have opinions. We all have opinions, and sometimes we may not see what could potentially happen, but we're just fixated on our own views and not looking at the full scope of things. So that's what I want to help change with this video, because y'all know I don't have student loans no more, so I really don't care that much, man. This ain't about me. This is not about me. I'm grateful I was able to pay my student loans off years ago, but I can see the frustration and the stress and the rest of the student loan borrowers. It's gonna get ugly before it gets better. That's all I can say. And y'all just gotta make sure y'all hold on tight, stay prepared, and be ready for whatever. Like this video if you like it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Also follow me on IG, Q Makes It Happen on Instagram. Become a member of the Q Crew. Click that join link down below. Become a member of the Q Crew, where you get more one-on-one with me, exclusive content, and it's also a way to support the channel. I go by the name of Q, and like I always say, if Q can make it happen, you can make it happen. I'll let y'all next video. Peace.